What's up, baby loves? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what it's like to be a flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant and I fly for a regional carrier. I started back in last November. Today I decided that I was going to make a video revealing to you guys what it's really like to be a flight attendant, kind of like the hidden side, the side that people really don't talk to you much about prior to becoming a flight attendant is kind of something that you figure out along the way. Just as a disclaimer, I want to say that I do enjoy being a flight attendant. I like my job. The benefits are great. You get like so many days off throughout the month. Like, it's really a sweet gig, honestly. A lot of people love it. But at the same time, for me, there are certain things about the job that I'm going to share with you guys that I feel like wasn't really said to me. And even if it was said to me, like, I'm the type of person I have to experience things in order to kind of believe it, because for the most part, most people's experiences about things are totally different than when I experience it. And that's, I mean, it's life. Pretty much, I'm going to give you guys about 8 different things that I wish people would have told me, or no, not necessarily. Just 8 things that are basically the hidden truth. The reality of being a flight attendant. The first thing, what they don't tell you about being a flight attendant is, 1, your body takes time to adjust to being in the air, or just flying for that matter. It was rough in the beginning. So pretty much, everything on my body was just going haywire. Pulling my luggage throughout the airport, it started to hurt my wrist. So like for a good 3 months, like my wrist was hurting. Now, mind you, I did injure my wrist in the past, like high school, which was like almost 10 years ago. Pulling it definitely used to strain it, and even now sometimes I can feel the soreness, but like it was really bad. Like I would feel the pain every night. Another part of my body that was hurting was my back, probably from sleeping in different hotel beds, sitting in the jump seat, which is not comfortable at all. Actually, it's not really comfortable, but it does make you sit up straight. Anyways, it's not too much, like we're not in the jump seat for long, but these are just things that I gathered that may have been the reason why my back was hurting. You do stand up too for the most part throughout the day. Definitely if you have like an 11-hour day of flying, which is like 5 legs equals flights. And yeah, so it's pretty rough on your body, like in the beginning. Also, like I was getting headaches every day, and I'm thinking because of my body not being used to being up and down, like going into the sky, like the high altitudes and stuff like that. And then on top of that, my vision just seemed to be affected as well. Like I would start seeing like little floaters and stuff like that. Now it's a little better. It's not so bad, but I did have to get a stronger contact prescription since I started flying, but that could just be my eyes, period. So either way, it does have an effect on your body. Then on top of that, like because of the high altitude, you must consume lots and lots of water. If you do not consume lots of water, everything is just going to be dry. Your skin is going to be dry, your mouth is going to be dry, your lips is going to be dry, everything is just going to be dry. So you must drink lots of water. That's just period, everyday life, right? We need to be flowing and just hydrated. Hydrate, baby girls. That's it. Hydrate. And baby boys too out there. Baby loves. That's the first point. Second point, 11-hour days. I kind of touched on that earlier. So prior to flying, I was not aware that I can have up to 5 flights a day. That's a lot of flying. Some people even do 6 flights, but thankfully, I've only done 5 flights a day. Flying 5 flights a day. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Flying 5 flights a day. Flying 5 flights a day.
What? Flying 5 flights a day is quite extreme. Like, again, on your body, just going up and down. It's the same script. You hear the same thing every time you fly. This is a long video. 5 flights a day would be sometimes a mixture, so you'll have different lengths of flights. So like, of course, so far my flights distance wise have varied. So it's been from like 90 miles to like over 1,000 miles. It will be a mixture pretty much of like no service flights, which are the smaller gaps of time, like the 20 to 25 minute flights. It'll be a mixture, so you'll have like 2 service flights or like 3 no service flights, but either way it's 5 flights, 5 times that you're boarding, 5 flights that you're deplaning, 5 flights that you're saying the same 5 announcements all day, and it gets exhausting. Not just the fact of repeating yourself, but just you feel like you're stuck in this loop, like it's terrible. Number 3 is eating healthy. Eating healthy is such a task. Like drinking water is such a task. When I drink water, which I drink so much water, I go to the bathroom like nonstop all day. So being on the plane, and sometimes if you're on the 200, you're on the flight by yourself, you're the only flight attendant on that flight, you have to be in the cabin with the passengers. You can't be running to the bathroom 24/7. And then also like on those 5 flight days, like between flights, you rarely have time to use the bathroom or get food or whatever. Like sometimes the turn is so quick, it's like we land, no sooner than people deplane, we're boarding again. So it's like you really don't have time. Can, like, you know, tell the captain, I try my hardest not to have like to hold boarding or anything like that. So anyways, back to the topic, eating healthy. It can get difficult. Sometimes you get off at work at like 9 o'clock, and then since I fly regionally, we go to like smaller cities, and around 9 o'clock and you get to the hotel, sometimes they only have the hotel restaurant or like a couple restaurants around the hotel. Eating healthy, if you don't pack your food at the beginning of your trip, it's just difficult. And then on top of that, even if you do pack your food in the beginning of the trip, depending on how long your trip is, so if you have like a 4-day trip, girl. Moving on. Number 4, control. You being a flight attendant, it's you pretty much kind of give up control to just situations, the environment, your job, other people. Like, think about it. You're stuck on a plane with at least 50 other people, well, passengers, in the air with no way out. You're giving up control. Another aspect of control that's taken away from you, if you're like me, expression. So like expressing yourself and like your looks, your visual appearance, whether it's your hair or your earrings or your nose ring or tattoos. You can't have tattoos on your hands, on your arms, and your fingers. Like, I had to get my finger tattoo removed. I had ear piercings all up and down my ear. I had to take all of those out for the job. Just self-expression, period, is like totally stifled. And because they want you to kind of fit into this mold. Airlines today, they're opening up, like stepping out the box, like, you know, when it comes to diversity and such. Like back in like the 60s, you knew like the typical flight attendant, tall, blonde, and hi, welcome aboard, whatever, typical. But now you can see like all types of flight attendants: short, tall, bigger, skinny, light skin, dark skin, dreads, curly hair, straight hair, whatever. It's very, very diverse nowadays. But at the same time, they still kind of want this cookie cutter, like typical flight attendant. So you still have to kind of uphold this certain, I guess, persona. It's a certain level of professionalism that you have to display as a flight attendant, period. You're the face of their airline. You have to uphold a certain appearance. Definitely now, yeah, That's it. I'm just gonna stick it there, keep it at that. Number 5, fly regionally versus mainline. Starting off, the reason why I wanted to become a flight attendant was to experience different cultures. I am Detroit based, so that's pretty much the Midwest. I didn't know that just fly in that region. Oh, I don't like really go out west, like California and stuff like that is not a thing unless I change my base. I wasn't aware of that prior to. I thought I was going to be traveling everywhere. I thought I was going to Paris, Brazil. Well, okay, not Brazil. But yeah, so I just thought I was going to be flying everywhere. But apparently, no, it's just mainline, only mainline. So if you want to fly internationally, do not look at regional carriers. Regional obviously means in a certain region. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. On to the next point. People started telling me, oh yeah, the first year is the hardest. The first year is the worst. Make it through probation. Oh yeah, the money is terrible in the first year. I'm telling you, just hold on. I didn't know any of that until starting, and that refers to money wise. You don't get paid as much, first off, as a flight attendant, period. You got to put in some years, honey, some years to make some money. Don't think you're going to be a millionaire being a flight attendant. It's not happening. Money wise, first year is not the best. Probation is the first year as well, where you can't have as many sick days. You can't really call in like that. They're really tracking you, and they're just paying attention to you, like making sure that the person that they hired is a good employee for the most part. And then it's the hardest, you know, in terms of just experience, learning the ropes. Like you've never been a flight, well, for me, I've never been a flight attendant before, didn't go to flight attendant school. Yeah, that's a thing. You kind of have to learn as you go along, like as you experience it. So that can be kind of frustrating, definitely. Like if you kind of suffer with anxiety, being a flight attendant, you're going to be like put on the spot a lot. So you have to be kind of comfortable with that. But sometimes like I still kind of struggle with that when if it's something I feel like I need to know the answer to, but I don't know the answer to it. If someone was to ask me a question and I really want to give them an answer, I kind of start feeling the anxiety inside because I'm like, oh shit, okay, I don't know this answer. I don't want to tell this person I don't know this answer. And then like my mind just starts going crazy trying to figure out the answer when I can just say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not sure, let me ask blah blah blah, or refer them to like the gate agent or to call customer service. For me, that aspect can be kind of challenging, but you learn as you go. Don't stress. I'm learning not to stress, whatever. Don't take it so seriously and you'll be fine. Number 7 are the benefits. So first off, I just want to say the benefits are bomb. Amazing. Definitely if you travel or if you fly regionally, because for the most part, if you fly for a regional airline, you fly for multiple mainline carriers. So depending on your base, you can get benefits for multiple mainline carriers. There is a downside. I guess I should have known. I should have done my research. 1, you travel standby. This can be super frustrating. Definitely if you travel from like hub to hub. So like Raleigh-Durham to Detroit, or New York to Detroit, or Detroit to New York, or Detroit to Atlanta. Don't ever travel to Atlanta. Sometimes when I talk about this, I feel super spoiled, because it's like, girl, you get to fly for free. What are you complaining about? Then on top of that, traveling standby, it's all based on seniority. So I can end up as the last person on the list. And if there are only 4 seats available, then I won't make the flight. And finally, number 8. This is more on the positive side. I felt like we should end the video on a positive note because some people may think that I'm complaining, and sometimes I do feel like I am spoiled, like I have this certain privilege about flying now. prior to flying, or even hearing stories and stuff like that from other flight attendants, made it sound like it was just the worst. Like passengers were just so terrible and every day is just going to be a hard day. You hear all of these stories about passengers going crazy and then flight attendants going crazy on passengers, or whatever the case is. But honestly, people aren't that bad. Kind of gain faith in humanity. It's all about your mindset, you know what I mean, and what you choose to focus on. People aren't as bad as you think, or other people make them out to be. They're really, passengers or just people period are pretty awesome. On a typical day, I would fly with at least, I would say on a typical day it could be at least 100 people. You would think it would be totally different. It's not that bad. Again, flying isn't that bad, but there are some things that people don't really talk too much about. They make it seem like flight attendant life is so glamorous and amazing and oh my gosh, I get to fly the world, which you do. But there are some negatives to it, some pros, which, I mean, you could take it or leave it. It's all about balance, you know what I mean? Like, this is the pros, this is the cons. Are the pros outweighing the negatives, or are the negatives outweighing the pros? I mean, you gotta have some type of balance, right? Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I know it's pretty long. I tried my best to kind of condense it. Let me know if you have any questions or any concerns, and just drop it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer anyone's question. You guys are interested in any other videos with other topics pertaining to flight attendant life and other things too, but just let me know. I can tailor it to whatever you guys like. Thanks guys, see you next time.